So this is an older nib, would have been from early 2020, potentially, well, purchased in early 2020, uh, probably would have been manufactured quite a bit before that. Notice that there are no vertical darker lines on this. None. Just nice, all that very slightly, I'm going to call it slightly shiny, but you can see that there's no oddities. Now, here is a newer nib. And see that line there? You can see a vertical darker line right down the shiny streak. This one is not as noticeable, but there's also, if you look at this section here where it pops out, where the step out is, you can see a very light darker mark on it there. And let's see, where did I put that other one? And on this one, you can more easily see, there's that vertical dark line again. You can see that darker line a little bit easier. It's right there where my nail is. Now, if you compare that to where the crack is, where it started and where it grows to on this nib, or if you compare it to where the enormous crack is on this one, come on, focus. They are virtually in the exact same place. So let me bring that nib back over. I will try to have these at virtually the same angle here. There we go. Pretty much the exact same place. And these two, sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. Also, that darker area and that crack almost in the same place, just to the left, or sorry, just to the right when looking at it of the number or the sizing marker. So my thought is there's some tooling issue or some manufacturing issue that's happening. It's causing that. But all of my nibs that have this seem to eventually split, which is almost all of them. I'm just lucky that I have Mr. Pensloth with tons of extra housings from his stacked nibs to keep me in housings. All right, so let's go through my nibs, shall we? I have pulled out all of my Jowo nibs to go through, and let's give it a start. So we have, yep, there's the line. Yep, there's another one. Now some of these, I've already gone through this a while ago and replaced as many as I could from housings we had at the house. There's another one, so even 18 karat nibs aren't immune. They're clearly just using the same housing and having the same issues. So this would be one of the ones that I've replaced. Now, I admit that going through these is not going to give the greatest look because I did replace the ones I could, but there's another. So this isn't going to be 100% of the ones with the problem, but you can see even having replaced those nibs that were cracked. No, there's that cracked one I was showing you earlier. There is still a significant number that I just didn't have enough housings to replace with. So I left all the ones that had this issue. Planning to speed this up when I do the editing, because you're not going to want to sit here for who knows how many minutes it's going to take me to go through it. Come on, focus. There we go. That one's not as bad. Maybe this is one of those in-between ones. Perhaps it's a tooling issue that started. This must have been one of the ones that I replaced, or oh no, this is probably an earlier nib, because my Franklin Christoph is older. This one's older too. This came with my Country Made Pens pen, and that was April of last year. And you can see there's only the tiniest hint of an issue. So I'm thinking it might be a tooling issue, and they've got a problem in their tools that has been developing for a while. I could be wrong. I don't know a whole lot about how these are made, so I'm just guessing. But it would stand to reason, right? Because the number of these that have this problem is incredibly upsetting. That must be one of the older ones as well, or housing I replaced, because notice it was much less noticeable. It's interesting going back and looking at these and seeing how that line has gotten more visible, more noticeable, and longer. You know, notice this one doesn't go all the way up. It stops about there. Maybe I won't speed this up. It'll be harder for you to see these things if I speed it up. Probably just provide timestamps, actually, so people can, come on, focus. People can choose to jump ahead if they get tired of seeing all of these. Oh, and there's that cracked nib I showed earlier. So that's all my nibs, and I'll keep a counter on the screen. I don't know how many there are at the moment, but this is a serious issue. That's a lot of nibs that have problems. Jowo needs to fix this.